on, people! 30 years since Doom 2? Goddamn you, linear time. So after the original Doom was released, a sequel was pretty much inevitable, and the id Boys had their work cut out for them. If they didn't get Doom 2 exactly right, they could lose everything. Well, did they succeed? Let's boot her up and find out.
Doom 2 was developed by the True id Software and published by GT Interactive for PC on October 10th, 1994, less than 1 year after the release of the original Doom. I still remember how excited I was when my grandfather told me that there was going to be a Doom 2. You gotta remember, in 1994, I was 5 years old, so I had no idea what was coming out, and I certainly had no idea there was going to be a sequel to Doom. I still remember that fateful day my grandfather finally brought the game home. He got it on the CD-ROM, and I still have my CD from the Golden Age, by the way. We popped it into the compact Presario and launched the game in DOS. I still remember how excited I was when Doom 2 loaded up. I remember the little logo was red, like blood. As one should imagine, Doom 2 is a first-person shooter, and since they had to get this bloody game out fast to a absolutely rabid gaming public, they only added a few things to Doom outside of the new maps. You got a new weapon, the Super Shotgun, and I still remember how awesome this gun was back in the day. Sure, the animations are simple by today's standards, but back in 1994, it was very bloody well impressive. You got a few new enemies as well. The Archvile, aka King Bastard, and an enemy that many modders like to leave out of their wads cause he is so bloody cheap. He takes a shit ton of damage, can insta-kill you with his fire attack, and can resurrect enemies from the dead. You know, screw you, Archvile! The next enemy you got is the Bloody Revenant. This guy takes a lot of damage and has a hard-hitting melee attack. He also shoots rockets that can track you around corners. Screw you, Revenant! Then you got the Fat Bastard, that is the Mancubus. He tanks damage, and, well, you know where this is going. Then you got the Architron. He is sort of like a mini version of the Spider Mastermind from the first game, except now he's got a plasma cannon. Then you got the Heavy Weapons Dude. He has a minigun and he can shoot you from across the map and does a crap ton of damage to you and takes a few hits to bring down. You got another flying enemy to contend with in this game. You got the Pain Elemental. He is a right busted and will spit out bloody lost souls all the time, and this can get really tricky to deal with. Good thing you got your double barrel to show him the error of his ways. We got a palette swap of the Baron of Hell called the Hell Knight. He takes less damage than the Baron of Hell, and he's not quite as cheap as the other enemies that Doom 2 introduces. Yeah, so you see, the original Doom can be divided into two camps. You got the run and gun camp and the extreme hardcore challenge camp, the get good son camp. Guess which one Doom 2 is in? Doom 2 is a really bloody hard game. You got these super cheap enemies, and the levels are larger and more detailed, but also a lot harder to complete, and are kind of slogs past level 7 or 8. And there are a lot of bloody levels in this game, and they are made for the fans of the super hardcore Doom challenge. And if you are into that, then Doom 2 is your game. For me, I only ever play this game occasionally, and I usually nope out after tricks and traps. With that in mind though, the id Boys pulled off a miracle. They gave the player exactly what they wanted, and this game printed money. And as a kid, me and Gramps played the crap out of this game. If for some ungodly reason you've not played this amazing game, you can easily get it on all modern consoles. Doom 2 is graphically the same as Doom 1, but I will say this, the new enemies, despite being super cheap, look amazing and are well detailed. The new maps, while boring in some places, show that the id Boys had learned a lot since Doom 1. Sound is pretty damn good. Once again, while the enemies are cheaper than hell, they sound legitimately scary, with the Archvile being the scariest of the lot. Back in the 90s, my grandfather swore up and down that he heard the Mancubus say, "I want to eat your eyes," and would always feed the chubby bastard a rocket when he saw one. Music for Doom 2 is as good, if not better, than the first games. In fact, when doing a video for Doom's 30th anniversary, I mistakenly thought that many of the great Doom 2 tracks were from the first game. The Pit is probably the most annoying level in all of Doom, but damn, is that a banger of a track. Story for the game is still pretty simple. You got no intro cutscene, and there are a few text walls to be found throughout the game. As you might imagine, hell invaded Earth, and you, one doomed space marine, have gotta fight him. I seem to recall that there was a text screen in this game where Doom Guy muses that he wants to be buried with a rocket launcher for any cleaning up he's gotta do. The game does feature a final boss, and it's pretty crap. You gotta face the Icon of Sin. While it's pretty cool in Doom Eternal, here it's just a wall that spawns enemies at you. You have to hit it in the right place to blow up John Romero's head. Yes, you heard that right. There's a spot on the wall where you blow up a pixelated severed head of Doom developer John Romero. Man, I miss the 90s. As a kid, I never figured this out and just no-clipped into the Icon of Sin. And as a kid, I had no idea who John Romero even was, and so I thought the head was some kind of glitch and shot it, and then the game was over. I was pretty puzzled, to say the least. Still, despite this boss being kind of crap, it was a decent ending to a great, if overly hard, entry in the Doom canon. Doom 2 would be instrumental in the Doom modding community, and all the super awesome mods we know and love today use Doom 2 as a base. Like with Doom 1, there are numerous update mods for Doom 2, including one that makes use of all the great features of GZ Doom, and thanks to the modders, I have a greater appreciation for Doom 2 than I once did.
While Doom 2 might not be my favorite of the Dooms, it's still worthy of veneration, and I highly recommend booting it back up if it's been 30 years somehow. Really, how would it be 30 years since you played it? Are you not a real first-person shooter fan? If for whatever reason you've been playing Tetris since then, although that is a valid game, I'll allow it. If all you've been doing is playing Pokemon Snap since then, get help and get some Doom 2, or whatever makes you happy.
If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and please consider leaving a like or a comment, as the algorithm desires your soul. And I want to thank all those fans who have supported this channel, both past and present.